Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, and it's a pleasure and honor for me to be here with so distinguished panelists. I would like to start with the rephrasing of this question. What if the West loses? Because for me, it's equal. If Ukraine and loses, it will mean the West will lose. Because I think it's quite obvious that the present world order will be destroyed. And actually, if we have a look on the real goals of Russia before the start of this war, it's not about some pieces of territory of Ukraine. And even it's not about Ukraine as a country. It's about revising the world order. Recognize, please, the first ultimatum was made by Russia in December 2021. Yeah, it was about it was ultimatum to NATO that they should push out their borders to the borders of 1997. What about it? It's about not just influence on the Eastern Europe. It's about the influence of dictatorship, or Russian dictatorship, on the whole Europe. And actually, this is the big game with the China, with Russia, with Iran, with North Korea, about the revising the world order. And actually, they try to do this by in the peaceful way, with these big projects like One Belt, One Way, or the one space from Vladivostok to Lisbon. They failed with this, and they tried to push the US from the EU. This is one of the goals of Russia. This is, it's not about Ukrainian territory. And they will continue to do this. And actually, they failed here in Ukraine with their so-called 3 days for Kiev. But it doesn't mean that they refuse of their plans. And actually, they already transferred their economy on a war footing. And it's not so easy to change the situation. So they will produce more and more weapon. And will they use it for the stocks? No. They will use it against other countries. And we also have see this picture because we have these tensions with Taiwan. We have this tension with North Korea and South Korea. Iran strike missiles just this night for the US bases. This is the pieces of one picture. This is about it. And actually, I'm not sure that they will wait for a conquer of Ukraine to start a new invasion in Baltic states, or through the Suwal corridor, or from the territory of Belarus. And actually, this sign for the West with the transferring the nuclear weapon to Belarus, it means that, look, the war will be on your territory because we protect Belarus with the nuclear weapon. If you will come, you will try to cross the border with Belarus, we will use the nuclear weapon. And we have to see these signs. This is about it. It's not about the territory of Ukraine, and the consequences of it will be, of course, and actually, yeah, if we were talking about the war economy, yeah, US and the EU increased to some extent their production of the weapon. But it's nothing about if we compare with the Russian capacity and production. Just for one strike to Yemen, the US used up to 200, if I'm not mistaken, Tomahawks. It's the whole production for the year of the Tomahawks. So we have to wake up, and the Westerners have to wake up. And it's, I'm talking about just for one dimension of the consequences, the architecture of the security. When or if Ukraine loses and the West loses, it will lead to the polarization of the world, because it will mean that there are no any more the security or the protection of the US in EU also. I'm not talking about the global South, which will, I think, join the BRICS or other, I don't know, organization, and to join the state of axis, like China, North Korea, Iran, and Russia. I'm even not talking about the economic consequences. The global trade waves will be destroyed. The new waves of refugees, not only from Ukraine, but from the Eastern Europe, from Africa, because the supply chains will be also destroyed with the food. So I think if Ukraine loses, the world loses, not only the West. And we have to understand that if the fight cannot be avoided, strike the first. And I'm talking about the all necessary weapon that should be provided for Ukraine to stop Russia here in Ukraine. If otherwise, I think it will be the end of history, but not in the meaning of Fukuyama, but in the meaning that there are no anymore the liberal word. It will be a word of dictatorship. Yeah, I just want to add to what Niall said, and I agree with you about providing Ukraine with the weapon. Well, let's look realistically on this weapon that we were provided during these 2 years. Is it the high technology, high new technology weapon? No. It's a quite outdated weapon, which was given us from the stocks of Eastern Europe, from the stocks of the US also. Yeah, probably Storm Shadow and Scalp is the highest way of level of this weapon. So it's not about the technology. And I think asymmetric answer from our side is the key for our victory, because we cannot fight as a big Soviet army and small Soviet army with the same level of weapon, and the West actually has this new technology of the weapon, and we can be provided with this new technology weapon, and I think it will lead actually to victory of Ukraine. It's the first my comment. The second comment, we have to understand that in this war, I think those who will have the longest will, because Russia tried to convince the West that they will go to the end. They will achieve all the goals that they announced before this war. Yes, they have a problem with the economy. Yes, they have problem with the production inside because of sanctions. But the problem, it's actually strong and weak side at the same time of the democracy. Discussions. We already discussed what we should do. It's not like a dictatorship. You have an order, we start this war, we continue this war, and et cetera, et cetera. And unfortunately, this snack culture of the using of information in the West cannot help us, actually, let's say in this way. I mean that in the US citizens are focusing right now on the election of president. Yes, there is war in Ukraine, but somewhere too far from us. It's not in our agenda. It's not about us. It's not about us today. And they don't want to think about it, how it can influence on their own future. So we have to maintain this focus on the war in the societies of the Western world, because unfortunately Russia has their power in their dictatorship, and they don't care about their opinion in their society. The Western world has to take into account the opinion of people. Thank you.